experimental software. Starting to get on my YouTube voice. Refreshing screen, checking that out. If not, doesn't appear to be live on YouTube though. It says live stream offline. It says we're live, but it says we're not live. Who knows what's actually happening? Not me. I have no clue. Let me check it on. Good thing about a live stream is nobody really sees the first portion of it, you know? So if we are live.
Good thing about a live stream. We are live, by the way.
Nobody really sees the first portion. All right, great. I don't see it, but apparently we are. Hello and welcome, everybody. I am Brandon from Bad Tech and Gaming here with another literal bad video for you. We have joining with us. We have Scott and Brown Surprise, who's Alex, my brother. How are we doing today?
It's all good here in South Carolina.
Hey! And Alex, how are you out there? Can you hear us?
Yep.
All right, cool. And we already have a couple people joining in. Slaughter Gangster, one of our people on Minecraft, and then, of course, Kathy Lee. Just want to test this. Welcome to Badcast. So what do we have today? We have, what, 5 topics, maybe 6 topics, and some honorable mentions we're going to have. Stick out for the end of the stream. We got some announcements and some community time as well. So with that being said, I think let's just go ahead and let's jump right on in. Okay, I'm going to relinquish control of all that stuff to you if you would like, as it's a little odd for me. I won't be able to see stream. That's going to be a new one for me. Okay, so we have the Apple Airpods. Now, this is going to be our leak of the week. So starting up now, we're actually going to be doing something called the leak of the week every week. There's always some sort of leak about something. This week's has to do with the Apple Airpods and the AR glasses specifically. So what's fun about these is really just the design that appears to be changing. You have the AirPods, they're going to have little rubber nibs on them rather than the over-ear that Apple's been with for the, 10 years? Or not over-ear, I'm sorry, just in your ear with no nibs for the last 10 years I feel like they've had. It's a change. It's actually changing something. So maybe some more noise cancellation, some better sound quality. You know, there's a couple advantages that come with that. And then AR glasses just after that topic. Scott, how do you feel about that?
You know, that's one area that Apple, they kind of came out with these wireless AirPods a long time ago. They were the first ones out there to have them truly wireless, even though they kind of oddly hang from your ear, which most of them now are all in ear. But Apple's really never had the nibs, right? That's kind of the new revolution for this new one, it seems like. But they're also, I think the name right now, they're saying AirPods 3. I think they're going to probably change that to AirPods Pro to sort of match the phone naming convention as well, right? Like the iPhone 11 Pro and that sort of thing. So we're probably going to see some of that. I'll bet you we see some better Siri control as well inside that. And, they've always had pretty good sound quality in their headphones, but my guess is that these are going to be a step up. Those nibs should absorb the sounds a little bit better, give you a much richer, more full bass sound. So I bet it's going to be an upgrade in that area as well.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be quite a big deal as far as their sound quality goes. I think it's going to make people from the original AirPods that came out that were pretty average, if you ask me. They weren't anything. Let's see. Do we have a picture? We have some pictures of the new ones, and make people want to buy the new ones. It's going to say, hey, let's upgrade. Let's actually do this, whereas most of the time you don't really, you don't get that with Apple products. There's no real big reason to upgrade. They're usually the same thing, just kind of slightly different, just barely.
Yeah.
Also, in the same kind of category here is the AR glasses. Now, this kind of ties in with a lot of things that people have been doing. This is big on the rumor side. So leak of the week, it's rumored stuff. The AR glasses supposedly are going to be a big deal. Of course, this is reported by CNET at first, and we're actually viewing it from CNET. They may be inching closer than we actually think they are, and actually could be released in 2020, both these products. They're developing an AR kit for them now, and the devices, the phones, to work with them. and they're not the only ones doing this. There's a few different people working on these kind of things. Where do you see the direction of AR glasses going? Would you buy them? Would they be worth it? Can you see yourself using them in any situation, I guess, is the big question. And that one will be for you, Dad. It appears that we lost him. But with that being said, Alex, are you there? Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, there you are. I got dropped for just a second there. Not sure what happened.
It's all right.
All right, good. So yeah, AR glasses are kind of the new thing. Google's been working on Google glasses for a long time, but their design is a little different, more like a pair of sunglasses than a whole VR type of set. These ones from Apple, Apple doesn't do anything halfway. They do a pretty good job with everything they release. Yeah. We can already see references to the new VR glasses in the iOS 13 build. So if you look deep, you can start to see what's going on in there. I just hope that it doesn't fall by the wayside like the Google Daydream, right? Google Daydream stopped supporting that. Yeah. And a lot of people liked it. And so, but it wasn't a money maker for them. So hopefully Apple will be able to come out with some really cool uses for this, and it'll continue on and be a good thing for them.
Oh yeah. And I'll tell you, I think the thing that makes me most excited is the Minecraft. Like playing Minecraft on AR sounds like a very, very fun thing. I would absolutely love that. But moving forward, we have Essential. So now we have a couple of other leaks for the week here. The Essential phone reveals the company reveals Project Gem, a smartphone with a very long, unusual design is the title here. And this is what it looks like. Some are calling it the chocolate bar kind of form factor. And you know what? My comment to this is, why? I don't know why this would be a good deal or a good buy. You can't watch videos on it. You're going to be the smallest video ever. I don't see you using it all that often. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I saw a couple of pictures with like some navigation GPS type stuff on it. And I'm just like, I don't get it. It's a nice thin phone, and I guess, but yeah, I'm not sure why I'd want something that looks like a Snickers bar. So yeah.
And Unbox Therapy Lou, he actually came up with a pretty good idea. He said this might be a companion thing, right? So something you have connected to your phone, like a smartwatch, like it is kind of a separate thing, but connected to your phone. But for notifications, taking phone calls while you're away, just something you don't have to carry in situations that maybe your phone might break in, or you might not want to get it into. But still, unless if it wraps around my wrist, which would be fantastic, and it doesn't look like that is what that is for. I don't think this is a good. I like the enthusiasm of creating a new product. I think that's awesome. Go Essential, kudos to you. But why?
Well, the one thing that is interesting though is that I don't think they're just going to release this phone as is, right? If we look at the original Essential phone that came out, it had lots of storage. It was very innovative in its ability to attach a 360-degree camera to it. So there were a lot of innovations, even though it really wasn't all that different from an iPhone in terms of its form factor, right? And so I'm thinking that maybe there's some tricks up their sleeves with this one too, and there's a reason that they've made it not, in my opinion, not a good form factor. But we'll see what they come up with.
Yeah, I'm sure that they wouldn't design a phone if they didn't think that it was going to do good. If it wasn't going to be, there wasn't a who's it designed for? The audience. I'm sure that they wouldn't design a phone without thinking of the audience. So there's got to be something out there for everyone. I just don't know who would buy it. I just don't know who that's aimed at. And I think that's why I don't get frustrated with it or anything. But I'm just like, why make this? It doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
Well, and the interesting thing too is that most phones nowadays are computers with phone capabilities, right? This one maybe is a phone with computer capabilities for people who don't necessarily need all the processing power and all the extra features, and actually need a phone first and a computer second. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure what that market looks like. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And now on to the very, very next one here, and I'll let you. Do you want to do the intro for this one?
I assume we're talking about Samsung here. So yes, Samsung is looks like they're working on an under display camera. So one of the neat things about the Samsung phones, and I've got my S10 5G, so I can kind of show. Oops, let me dismiss that. There we are. So I can kind of show what some of the I can't really see it here. Just trying to get it to a screen where I might be able to see the camera.
Yeah.
Nope, can't see it. Anyway, they got the notch. The cameras are at the top of the phone. They're sort of notched out. And now Samsung's looking to put the camera behind the glass. Good idea, except I don't use my front-facing camera all that much, so it's not that big a deal for me. But a lot of people do. That is really interesting, but there's some challenges here. They're going to have to, the glass is going to distort, right? So it's not lens material, so it's going to distort. How are they going to overcome incoming light from around the edges? And because it's going to be a full sheet of glass on the top of this thing. So there's some challenges there. And one would think that if they've got some new piece of tech like this, or like the fingerprint sensor, the under glass fingerprint sensor, it's going to come out in their flagship devices. Well, some are rumoring to have it out in the Fold 2, which is due to be released next year. Some are saying maybe the S11, which would also be next year. The leaker in this case decided to go ahead and say, and I'm going to quote this, Samsung will launch an under display camera phone next year. Not S11, not Fold 2.
Yeah.
So only thing left is Note, right? The Note 11. That would be the only other one I could see this going to. So it could be an interesting. I'm not sure if you call it a feature or not. It depends on how well the implementation is. But get a solid sheet of glass on the front, makes for better experience of videos and whatever on your phone. That's always a good sign. So I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to highlight a comment. Hey, Deshaun says a 5-year-old wouldn't want that chocolate bar for the essential phone we were talking about a minute ago.
Well, Deshaun also said this. Nobody's buying that phone. Same thing. So I agree. For most people, it's not going to be the best one, right?
Yeah, that just made me laugh a little when I read that. I love this comment thing that we have going too. I think this is really cool. Just I like it overall. Okay, and now moving to your little baby here that I want to give to you, because this is something that you were very excited about.
Yes. So we've got DJI some time ago released the Robomaster S1, and
what is Robomaster? I don't know.
Say that again.
The Robomaster. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, so the Robomaster, this is actually a kit, and it's designed to sort of introduce younger people, or really anyone, to the world of robotics. So you're going to go ahead and get this kit. You're going to have 546 pieces, right? Mm-hmm. And then those pieces also include 31 different sensors, a camera, and a mini cannon. So this thing has some pretty cool innovations. If you look right there on that screen, if you go back to that picture that you had up there, the wheels themselves have wheels within the wheels. So you can see kind of the stripes that go down like the tread. Those treaded wheels actually mean this thing can move sideways, forward, backwards, diagonally, everything without any kind of axle that will turn, right? So it can do a complete. My question is, why isn't this on my car? right? I want, you know, how easy parallel parking would be. That's a fantastic design. I love it. But once you build this thing, then you get a full user interface to go and start programming. This thing has a capability of, with its camera, identifying markers. So you can program the thing to look for markers, go throughout the room, follow paths. See, there it is right there. You can see on the screen. So, you know, it's pretty cool. And the Canon can shoot two things, actually. One is a piece of some infrared light. The other one are some little gel pellets that they come in a very small container. You take out what you need, you put it in a cup of water. They expand out to be the size that it wants. Then you can load. It looks like a AR cartridge that goes in the back of this thing. Put like 500 of them in there, and it'll shoot this thing out. You know, like a machine gun. So you can have it recognize your little brother, and when it does, pelt him with these little pellets, and then they just dissolve. Right, they go away. So all kinds of good stuff. I love where this is going. Right, it's very unusual for DJI. They've got lots of gimbals. They've got drones. Good use of their technology. I think it's really cool. I really would like to get one. $500, a little bit on the spendy side, but I'll tell you, it's something that I would certainly look forward to playing with myself, and I'm a grown man. So there you go.
Oh yeah, well, and I'm like literally just kind of looking through it at the moment right now, and there's some really cool stuff here. So the thing that first pops out to me is like you're saying, like it has this recognition thing you can do, so you can have these little markers, but also like a line recognition. But you can clap. It has like an audio thing too, so you can double clap, and it does it does a burnout. Like that's what I'm literally looking at right now. And like a human gesture as well. So like you can. I don't know, like this kid's doing here, turn it into a Y, and then, or you can make it go backwards or forward. I think that is pretty cool. I think this thing's got some, but then it's not just that. It's not just a little shooter guy. You can actually build it into whatever you want. It looks like it has actually a build or a dev kit for it. That would be pretty awesome. Like this literally looks like a, I don't know, a little Tonka truck gone crazy.
Well, like you know, what I would look forward to is when you can put a 7-watt laser in it and start burning your cat, right? That'd be kind of fun to chase your cat around with the laser and start singeing its fur and stuff. That'd be kind of fun. I'm kidding. Don't do that. I would never do that. But it would be kind of fun to have some different accessories on there. Like I said, this thing's got 31 sensors, so it's going to know, I think, everything except what smell is out there, which could be a good thing. So it's pretty cool. I really like where this is going.
Well, I'm just kind of going through some of the little videos here that I got on the actual website. The little blaster that shows you how that works too. Yeah, very simple, but very cool overall. And DJI. So one thing I really like that DJI does is their mechanisms for turning and movement. Their little hinges that they have, I think, are always very good. So this is going to be a solid product. Like this is going to be very nice.
Well, I've got several DJI products, right? I've got the Osmo Mobile, or the Osmo Pocket, the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. I have had a drone, the Phantom 2, and now I've got the Spark. So I've got a lot of DJI products. All are high quality. Wouldn't trade them for anything. I'll tell you, Deshaun has a really good idea here. Make it a transformer. I 100% agree. I would love to see that. That would be very cool if I could convert this thing to something that could get up and start walking around. That would be really cool.
Oh yeah, and I think you also said Robot Wars as well. Isn't that a TV show? What's the TV show for that?
BattleBots, yes. Although I'm not sure this would survive, but you fill those gel pads with some sort of acid pads to melt the competition. You might be in luck.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see. There was another thing I was looking at. The 2-axis gimbals, the mechanical wheels. Okay, so that was kind of the stuff that you were looking at earlier. Okay. But yeah, and now how much is this thing?
500 whoppers right there. That's quite a bit for this thing, but it's going to be a solid build. DJI doesn't do anything halfway. And $500 is going to get you a really good robot. I just like to see more options and accessories available now that come with it for that kind of a price, right? It's very expensive.
Yeah. And it looks like it would only last about 35 minutes of continuous use. So you got 30
Mhm.
minutes and battery standby, you're looking at about 100 minutes as well. That's going to be something very nice. And would you say about the pellets, were they disintegratable or something like that? Do they?
Yeah, they do. So they're gelatin-based pellets that come in a hard form, and before you put them in the cannon, you put them in the water. They expand a little bit to the right size, and then that also allows them to disintegrate, later, so you don't have to go cleaning up after it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that would be awesome. And real quick, I want to call this out as oh, it doesn't look like it's actually popped up. I see it on YouTube, but not here yet. So Deshaun says, Brandon, you trying to play some Call of Duty mobile squads later? I may not be. I might do some, but I know Brown Surprise Alex actually will. So I'm pointing at him right down below. Maybe you might want to, if Alex up there in this boom. If you want a friend to play with, I'm sure we can find you one. But anyway, moving forward. So this is going to be something I think is very cool. I would love to play with something like this. I think there's a lot here that's innovative and very pushing forward, especially on robots. Like there haven't been a whole lot of robots for the mass market that have been something very useful, something fun, something that everybody can actually look forward to and do. They just don't really come by that often. Usually, they're going to be something that just kind of pops up and nobody buys it because it's like $8,000. But 500, I don't think is unrealistic for what you're getting. I really don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
I would buy this, if I, of course, had the money to buy for something like this. But that's up to the average consumer. So I would ask the people in the comments, people that are watching this now, what do you think? Would you actually buy something like this? Could you spend $500 on a Robomaster S1? That's the
Well,
question.
I'll tell you what I could do is I could do a review and put one of these things together if DJI happens to see this and want to send me one. So,
I'm
I'll-
sure. I'm sure that happens. That happens all the time,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay. Moving forward. Now, this is something that I know a lot of people have been waiting for. The Sims 4 Discover University. So what's the big deal about this? Why is this on Bad Tech and Gaming? Well, it's a game, so that's why. But it's a huge update. They actually have two separate universities that are coming in, as well as a whole bunch of different updates that are coming in the game. So some of those updates, some are big, some are small. It obviously all about college life. So they have things like water pong, drink responsibly. They have everything from, well, I actually got a picture of it over here, bathroom stalls, which they have not add in The Sims 4 yet. So the fact that they're starting to add these little things in, I know it seems silly to those of you who may not play the game, but these are things that have actually been missed, that they've had The Sims 3 for forever now, I feel like. Also, if you look at this here, this lady, she has both eye and nose piercings. So a lot of different piercings coming into the game as well, which is just something that you haven't seen. The whole bar atmosphere, I think, is going to be kind of cool. And of course, just it seems like one big party because, that's college. Let me see. There was a couple other things as well. Let me get out of this and go back to the actual Sims thing here. So they can, and the one thing that's cool about The Sims is you always get to choose how things are done, but it actually rewards you for one or the other. So they can study all night and complete their homework, or chill out, sleep in. They can activities like juice pong, juggling a soccer ball, and hanging out with roommates. Taking a break has never been fun or so fun. Plus, your sim can now join school organizations like robotics, debate, art, or even mysterious secret society. So those are all some things that haven't been there before that are going to make this a lot of fun and provide a lot of time. Deshaun says he loves The Sims, but provide a lot of time you can spend playing the game with stuff that you already currently have. It just adds on a whole nother experience that your sim goes throughout their life. And of course, you get a whole bunch of dorm room decor. Deshaun, everybody add me on Call of Duty. So yes, a lot of different really cool stuff there. I think are going to make a big difference in the actual university. I think it's cool that they actually have two separate universities instead of just one. Let me see if I can find. I can't find any very much else for it. But what do you think about this? As far as I know, you might not have a whole lot to say on something like The Sims 4. However, this is something that they've had in previous games for that, and that kind of brings up another topic as well. They're now adding in all the things that they've had in old games and starting to really put them into here, including, and I think they're also planning on coming out with a new game here shortly too, The Sims 5. But I think this is going to change the game and how it's played. But that's mostly what I have. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's been a while since I played the Sims games. I love the various Sims titles, right? Sim City. Used to like Sim Farm way back in the day. I'm probably dating myself a little bit. The Sims is a great game. I really enjoy playing that. In the past, I haven't played it in a while. This one here, the expansion pack. The release date officially mentioned is December 17th, so it's coming right up just before Christmas. But the Sims VIP says if we're looking at the history behind the releases for these expansion packs, right? The December 17th date is only going to be for the consoles. The PC version is probably going to come out quite a bit earlier, probably somewhere around November 15th or so.
Yeah.
So that's good. The other thing that's really interesting too is you're going to get a lot of this functionality. And the schools, by the way, it's not just two schools; they are rival schools. So if you're, that's kind of a cool twist that they put into it. But this whole expansion pack's only a little over 10 megs. That's tiny. So for those of you who do not have 2 terabyte drives on your Xbox, or maybe those of you who do and just have a lot of games, 10 megs, anyone can squeak that out of there. So it's good. I'm looking forward to it. The Sims 5, I'm also kind of looking forward to because they're going to add even more features and looks like possibly an entire online feature where you can travel from world to world, see other people, use vehicles to get there. So you're not walking for 3 days trying to get to your neighbor. So that could be pretty cool too. I'm kind of excited to see how that works out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see. I know one thing that I have always liked to do, and I never get to do really in The Sims 4. That's one reason why I didn't play it, is when you go through life, you get to go to college, you get to go do this thing before you start on your job. Like I feel like in The Sims, you just kind of start off as a kid, teenager, and then you just kind of bam, right into life. But now you'll actually get to experience this time, go through these events, go through these clubs, go through these things that you haven't been able to go through in the past. And I think that's going to make a big difference in just, like I said, the longevity of you playing a game. From a character from beginning of life to end of life, right? Like that's going to increase the overall amount of things that you've done with that character. And will bring a lot of fun into a game that's already pretty fun. Like, being able to walk into stalls and cry your eyeballs out, it looks like on this particular one here. But
Right.
And I think that pretty much does it. Do you have anything else to say about The Sims 4? The vandalism. They get the vandalize things. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through trying to see if there's anything I missed on the little trailer that they released. Graduating. Big deal. You actually get to graduate. Like that's something you never really get to do on The Sims. You never got to do that before. So,
yep. No, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I know that your wife is definitely going to look forward to it. So, looks like a good Christmas present on the way.
If she doesn't buy it herself.
Exactly.
And now for one of the most kind of interesting topics that we've decided to do on the channel, and that is Star Wars Episode 9. Now, Alex, are you out there? Can you hear me? I'm going to go ahead and get him queued up and ready to go. So with that being said, Star Wars Episode 9, there's been quite a few trailers released. I say, 3 trailers released, a whole bunch of rumors, speculation, and of course, the long nostalgic longing for everybody to go to theaters to watch this specific movie. Alex, do you want to give us your thoughts first, or would you like me to just kind of ramble on for a second?
You may want to go ahead because I'm not too excited about the movie, so...
Oh boy. Okay. So with that being said, The Rise of Skywalker, this is the final trailer release that they have. Of course, we have some release date, stuff like that. Now, A lot of this, actually, I've been very surprised with exactly how I actually thought it seems as though they've started to fix some of their issues from the past that they had, or at least that I had with the movie. Um, a lot of the older movies, right? Like we all know that the second one wasn't quite as good as we really thought it was going to be. But this one here, it looks like, now if you go back, actually it looks like Leia's helmet from the original, one of the what is that, New Hope, I think it was.
Yeah,
So
they were on Endor. Yep.
so is she working with Leia? I don't know what she's doing. I don't know why she has the helmet. Why is she just drop it and leave it on the forest floor? I couldn't tell you. And then, moving forward, of course, you have Finn, who's just yelling for Rey. But trying to find a specific scene here, so it looks like a lot more battles. And one thing that I thought was kind of cool is if you watch this here, it actually, her lightsaber, it actually kind of flickers, and a lot of people are making a big deal about this, like Kylo's does in, like he has got the broken lightsaber kind of thing. But me personally, that just looks like the water hitting a lightsaber. It mists a little bit. Looks like that's actually what would happen. So
But don't forget the lightsaber was broken in half in The Last Jedi.
True. But their CGI effects here look to have been taking up a notch, trying to give you more of a visual of what it's actually like to be in this. And then, of course, just before this, or maybe it's just after this, you have Kylo Ren, who comes in and actually, looks like, oh, we're gonna come in and fight. There's gonna be a big battle. And now, this is actually one thing I wanted to ask you, Dad. So here, there's been a big argument. People are asking, why can't we see the TIE fighters in the reflection of this water, right? I would like to make a call out. I don't think that's water. That looks like it could be a planet. The bottom looks very different from the top. I don't know that it maybe not be actually on water. What do you think about this particular scene? Do you think that's actually a water reflection, or do you think it's actually just like a space, you're in a space kind of an asteroid thing?
Yeah, it doesn't look like a water reflection to me. I mean, it looks like if it is, it's highly distorted, which might be why maybe the TIE fighter's reflection is off camera behind you or something along those lines from that perspective. But it doesn't look like the same thing. So I agree with you. I don't think I think it's some sort of a strange, world or planet or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, overall, this movie, we can't tell from some of these shots here that if it's actually going to be iceberg that hit the Titanic is what Deshaun just kind of popped up. But we have like Snoke's chair. You have all the different fighters, and you have the Millennium Falcon, all that good stuff. Do you know much about this movie so far, Scott? Have you really looked into it?
No. Well, I mean, I've watched the trailers. I've, seen all the movies. I've seen all of them in theaters, including the original one, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be going to see this one. One thing that's interesting here is that if we look way back when, A New Hope, right? Yeah. 121 minutes. This movie is a full 34 minutes longer, half an hour longer than the original Star Wars. So, it's an hour and 35 minutes or 2 hours and 35 minutes long. That is a really long movie. And considering that a lot of people really complained after The Last Jedi because it was an hour and 52 minutes long. So this is longer than that one. One would think that they would have maybe shrunk it down a little bit. But I think the bigger complaint wasn't that it was an hour and 52 minutes long or 2 hours and 52 minutes long. On the last one, but it seemed like 300 minutes because it kind of moved really slow in the middle and that sort of thing. And then the whole gambling or casino city was sort of a weird side track that maybe didn't need to happen and that sort of thing. So I don't know. We'll see. This one, my guess is that even though this one is longer by 3 minutes than the last one, it won't seem as long because I'm guessing this one's going to go a little bit faster.
Yeah. And I definitely think it will. And one thing I got to say is, so the last one, you had a ship chasing a ship. That was like the whole movie. I think they went and tried to show that, hey, we're not just a ship fighting a ship. If you look here, you actually have the entire Empire looking fleet that looks, just awesome here. They look huge. They look like they are ready to go to war and to beat down. But then again, you also have this particular scene here that says, hey, we're the rebellion. We're also ready to go to war, and we're massive. So instead of having one ship and one ship, I think you're actually going to have a battle, like an actual big battle, what we've been waiting for. You know,
Yep.
I feel like we got gypped. We didn't get that battle. You know, we just got a little piece of it. We just got a little piece of, hey, we're doing a old style car chase, and it's not even going to be that interesting. You know, it was literally like watching a car chase from the very first movie that decided they wanted to make a car chase. It was just slow, boring, and didn't go anywhere.
Right.
So go ahead.
Well, the interesting thing here is that the name of it is sort of maybe sort of telling, right? At the end of the last one, Luke Skywalker sort of disappears. Did he die? I don't know. Nobody kind of knows, right? He just disappeared all of a sudden. He was gone. His clothes were there, and he seemed to turn to to vaporize somehow. Not sure how that worked. This one, The Rise of Skywalker. I think the trailers did a good job of not really giving away why they're calling it that, but there's a ton of speculation out there. What does it actually mean? Is Luke Skywalker going to return as the master Jedi to end all master Jedis with his apprentice to really bring balance to the universe? And I don't know, exactly what that means, but I'm really anxious to find out, and so that's why I'll be seeing that in theaters.
And yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing for me is I'm curious. I think Rey, it might be like Skywalker's child or something crazy like that, or like somehow they're related and she's a Skywalker or something. I feel like that's going to be where it's going to come from. But Alex, oh, go ahead.
I would say originally I thought that too. After the last movie, I sort of stopped thinking that, but you just never know. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now we have somebody on here who has a very, very different opinion on this movie, and I would like to hear it. So, Alex, what do you think about this movie?
So, firstly, just to set the precedence of everything I think about this movie, when they first released the first trailer at some sort of Star Wars event that they had, the very first showing of the trailer, they misspelled the word Skywalker and it actually said Skywalker. I just felt like I needed to point that out because, But what I think is going to happen is, so first off, Palpatine's in it. You can hear his voice multiple times, and they basically go and show a half a Death Star that's landed on some planet, even though the Death Star was completely annihilated.
Yeah.
And basically, they've ruined the entirety of Episode 6 by doing that, since Luke was supposed to have, had a hand in killing the Emperor, as well as stopping the Empire almost entirely by doing that, or at least severely hampering them.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of retconned during with this, so they can bring him back. And then you have Rey, who is a horribly powerful person, and during some of the trailers, they say we taught them everything we know. But if you look back into Episode 8, Luke Skywalker gave Rey 1.5 lessons and failed at both of them. And then when he vanished, he did die. He did the same thing as Obi-Wan Kenobi did. So he's going to be a Force ghost. Which puts in another thing. In Episode 8, the Force ghost is able to bring down lightning. So what's Luke Skywalker going to be able to do in Episode 9? They're going to have like a Lord of the Rings ghost army coming out or something.
Yeah.
But if you pay kind of close attention to the massive array of Star Destroyers that they have for some reason, they're not the same Star Destroyers that Kylo Ren has. And so what I think is going to end up happening is Rey's going to have some weird visions of her being in the dark side, which is where that really, really weird and kind of pointless lightsaber comes from the second trailer. And those visions are going to, like this picture shows right here, they're going to make them work together against the Empire because Kylo wants to be the strongest in the galaxy, and Rey and the Rebels want to just survive. So they're going to have to band together and destroy the Emperor and his many thousands of Star Destroyers that he seems to have out of nowhere.
Have a couple
because
of those.
they're not the same Star Destroyers at all. If you with back. They're Palpatine's original Star Destroyers from episode 4 through 6.
Yes, they did different from the actual. They look like actual Star Destroyers. They don't look.
Yeah, those are the original Star Destroyers from episode 4 through 6.
Which
The
is
other Wrens
cool.
are much different and have little crosses on the front of them, I think. So, it's completely different.
These ones actually these aren't flat on the bottom. They're actually got a little bit of a crease to them, actually.
Yeah, that's the exact Star Destroyer from episode 6, really. So,
yep.
How he's alive, why he's alive, why they thought that they should bring him back and completely retcon episode 6, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And then they also brought back Lando, which, I mean, I can see them bringing him back, but kind of a little late on that. So that's my whole take on it. I think at best it's probably going to be like a 3 or 4 out of 10 movie. It's not going to be very good.
Yeah.
But then again, given what Rian Johnson did to the movie with episode 8.
Well, you know, it's J.J. Abrams that's doing it now.
Yeah, I know. He did episode 7 and episode 9. Episode 7 was not very good, but it was doable for a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it was like
episode 8 just completely annihilated the name Star Wars and caused Solo to be, which no one ever thought they would say, a Star Wars movie that lost money overall. Yeah. And JJ's just trying to fix what Rian Johnson did, which I don't think he'll be able to succeed in, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as episode 8. So
yeah, absolutely. One thing I think the 7th movie definitely was a safe way to enter back into Star Wars, which I think was a smart move. I think it was smart to play it safe with the first one and then venture out. But episode 8, so 7 was good. 8, they kind of just went off the cradle. So I'm curious to see if 9 can come back and at least redeem a little bit of the Star Wars name. I really, you know what? I'm looking for an okay movie here as far as story and all that stuff goes. I just really want a good, true to Star Wars movie that doesn't try to go too far out and be a Marvel movie. I want it to be Star Wars. I want to see those.
The thing about episode 8 is you take the whole thing with Canto Bight, which is the casino planet they go to, with Rose and Finn.
Yeah.
I believe everything that they shot for that is like 20 or 30 minutes of the movie or something like that. You can take every single piece of that out, as well as them going to the supremacy, getting on that, getting caught. Take every single piece of that out and just basically take them from the beginning of the movie and then teleport them to the end, and absolutely nothing would change for them. They could have taken that out completely and spent that time actually making the movie good.
Fair enough. Well, okay, so now let's do this. Let's say out of 1 through 10, are you going to watch? I say mine's going to be about a 9. I definitely want to see this in theaters. I'm excited for it. I love Star Wars, and I really want to keep hoping that they're coming back. You know, no more bad movies. We're gonna make good ones from here on out. They're still trucking along, so I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. We'll do Dad next. Out of 10, 1 out of 10. Why do you want to? How much do you want to watch it, and why?
Well, look, here's the thing. Like I said earlier, I've watched every single Star Wars movie in theaters, with the exception of Solo, including the original one, which I saw in a giant half dome panoramic theater all the way back in the 70s in Southern California. It was awesome. You know, I would be remiss. This is a for sure. I must see this in theaters. No question about that. It will be an IMAX if at all possible. And if there's a IMAX 3D version of it, that will be how I enjoy this one. And I'll get it on Ultra 4K Blu-ray when it comes out with Dolby Atmos, just like I have all the other movies, because I'll have it in my collection. The interesting thing for me too is that this is the last one in the saga, but it's not going to be, I don't think, the last one, right? We've got series coming out in the Disney Plus service, even before this is released over Christmas, right? So we're going to have some different storylines starting to spin out of this thing. And while the main storyline may disappear after this one, the spurs coming off of that storyline are going to continue for, my guess is, decades. Disney's put a lot of money into not just these movies, but into the new Star Wars lands that are available in not one, not two, but 3 of their theme parks. They've got a lot of Star Wars merchandise. They paid a huge amount of money to get this franchise. And the new Disney hotel has already broken ground. It's underway in Orlando, and it is a fully themed hotel experience. It's not just go in, check in, here's your room. You take an elevator and you're going to feel like you're blasting off into outer space. There's LED panel walls so that they can make it look like you're taking off and going into outer space.
Yeah.
Everything they're sinking just a ton of effort and imagineering and money into the Star Wars franchise as a whole. Mm-hmm. This won't be the last movie, but it may be the last of saga. Even so, I've got to see it. I'm hoping for a really good movie. Kind of have to put some of the things Alex was talking about behind you and not think about them. I'm going to go ahead with a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay. Alex, how about you?
I'm going to lower that slightly, and I'm going to give it probably either a 2 or 3 out of 10. I don't want to see it in theaters whatsoever, and I would be lucky to rent it in HD.
In HD. Think that I like how you said in HD. Like, standard def. All you get is standard, baby.
Well, I was going to say in standard, but I got to be able to actually see what's going on. So, yeah. I think that, and nobody here is a bigger Star Wars fan than I am, and I can say that because I'm wearing a Star Wars T-shirt right now.
Can you just point the camera at your T-shirt?
You wouldn't be able to see. It's really, really dark where I'm at. But no one's a bigger Star Wars fan, at least in this little group here, than I am. And I'm pretty sure both of you can attest to that by the amount of Star Wars stuff that I have as well in my house. But I think that Episode 7, it was overall, once you actually looked to the story and looked at the writing of it, you can realize that Episode 7 was objectively a poorly written movie that had an awful lot of conveniences in that movie to make it work. I think that Episode 8 was just a dumpster fire of a movie and one of the worst written movies I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some really, really bad zombie movies, so that's saying a lot. I think that Episode 9, I think that Episode 8 destroyed the series so badly that it's not going to be a good movie. He'll try to. He'll try his best, but I don't think it's going to be good enough.
It's going to be hard for them to come back. I mean, that's what this movie is. It's the comeback. Like, if they don't do well with this movie, I mean, it could be lights out for Star Wars. I mean, and I hate to say that because I love Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars. So
I think they need to take politics out of it. First off, they did that in the last 2, and that's one of the reasons why everyone hated it so much. They tried to force politics on people. They need to get back to the point of Star Wars, which is making a well-written story before making a movie. And I can say that when Episode 7 was created, J.J. Abrams wrote Episode 8 and Episode 9, and then Rian Johnson basically tossed it in the garbage and made his own story. And he also used his first draft for the movie, which if you ask any writer in existence, you never use your first draft. You always keep writing, you keep revising, and you make it perfect. And he absolutely didn't do that. And because of that, Episode 9 is going to suffer greatly. We don't know the stakes of any part of the galaxy they're in. We don't know where any of the factions of the galaxy belong. We don't know if Jabba the Hutt might have had, or not Jabba the Hutt, like the Hutt clan as a whole might have survived or anything, which they probably could have. We don't know anything about the Republic. We know that they got blown up, but if you're telling me that the entirety of the Republic was on 5 planets, and that is a terribly run Republic, the Resistance had about 20 people, and from the looks of this movie, they managed to grow by about 3,000 times and have themselves a small fleet. The Empire or the First Order or whatever they're going to be went from a few dozen ships and the Supremacy to suddenly having thousands of ships and tens, maybe even hundreds of millions of troops. So we don't know what resources anybody has. And no matter how much you blew up of the galaxy, they seem to come back with more resources. So I think that just because of those alone, without knowing anything that's going on in that galaxy, I think that it's going to be a bad movie overall.
Yeah, no, I don't 100% disagree with that. Now, one thing I do want to say is all you commenters out there, I see we got Oscar and Deshaun out there still. Let us know, what's your 1 through 10? Are you gonna, 1 being I'm not gonna watch this movie, 10 saying I will be there before it launches, camping out? Let us know what you're gonna be, and I'll come back to that in a few. But yeah, so you got some varying opinions from all three of us, really. One diving all the way in, one kind of in the middle, but really, gonna see it, and then one definitely on the other side of that. So who do you guys relate with more on that? Like, do you care? Do you not care? Let us know. So now, go ahead.
Well, I think Oscar relates to Alex the most. When oops, that's not the one I wanted. It moved. When he says he misses Scooby-Doo. I think Alex can appreciate that one because he grew up with Scooby-Doo as well.
I think they should bring the Mystery Machine in on the Star Destroyers.
But no, Oscar does say he might watch it, so it'll be interesting. I'll be very curious to see how many, what their box office is. I'm kind of with you, Alex. I don't think it's going to be the record-breaking box office smash that they've had in the past.
They'll still make $1 billion because it's Disney, and Disney can throw out a pile of poo like Episode 8 and still make $1 billion off of it. So
exactly. So yeah, we've got people kind of all over the board here. It looks like Harry Potter. Yeah. So we've got Pink Piggies, Mrs. Harry Potter. Yep. Although J.K. Rowling has some new stuff coming out too, so that's not a bad thing.
I'm just reading some of the comments coming in. But yes, so with that being said, we are going to do something a little bit different. So the first segment we had, if you guys missed it, was called Leak of the Week, where we talk about a few of the weeks. Now, moving on to the second segment that we have that I decided to make honorable mentions. This is past, present, and future. Honorable mentions that didn't quite make it into the show as a full conversational topic that we can talk about during our last section here, which is going to be the community version. So with that being said, we're going to go through some of these honorable mentions. So let me get it pulled up. The so far hype is sustaining about the Google Pixel 4 with its 90 hertz display, shattering a lot of people's expectations of how smooth the phone can be. Reviews are coming in saying it's great, other than one thing: 4-hour battery life is killing all the hype for the Google Pixel 4. So that's the latest and greatest on Pixel 4 of those who've been keeping up. Now we also have Google Stadia launches November 19th. So keep up with that if you do. November 12th is when Disney Plus officially launches, as well as the Surface earbuds. They are still MIA. We don't know what has happened with those Surface earbuds. Now, we have actually done videos on a lot of those products. So if you want, they're going to be in the description below. So be sure to check some of those videos out. Also, we have a website where the calendar for all of these launch events are, as well as all the videos that we're launching on top of that. So be sure to check that out. Check out the Bad calendar on the Bad website. Will also be in the description below if you want to check it out. You can actually copy and paste these right to your Google Calendar if that's something that you're interested in, or if you want to know where things are. So with that being said, we do have a couple people in the chat. Let us know, kind of if there's any topics you want us to kind of re-go over. Oh, and there's one more honorable mention I almost forgot about. We're not going to be doing it this week, but Call of Duty Mobile, I heard it mentioned 2 or 3 times in our chat box. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to that. Looks like a lot of fun, super easy. I know Alex has a quick thing just to say about that, I know for sure. But we're going to be covering this officially next week in our next video. So just to give you guys a heads up on that. Alex, do you have a quick comment to make on Call of Duty Mobile?
My first game I went 38-0, so it's pretty easy.
There it is. And that was the honorable mentions segment. So if you guys, any of the topics that you see in the description you want us to go over, We have a few different things. Let us know. I'd love to go over anything. Dad, Alex, do you guys have anything you want to talk about in the meantime? Anything you want to touch back up on? Anything
Yeah,
we
you
went
know,
over?
on those Google Pixel 4s, the deals are out. They're pushing this thing $700 off when you switch and get a Pixel 4 to AT&T. Verizon, pre-order it now and save $450. Best Buy's got a $150 gift card on it. So the deals are out there. Just take a look and don't pay full price for it.
Yeah, I actually, when I typed in Google Pixel 4 deals, literally it came up exactly as you said that.
That's because I typed in exactly the same thing and I got the same result.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Was that
Let's see.
$700 about 20% off or something? I just wanted to get a little expensive nowadays.
No. Well, yeah, because the Pixel 4 XL, I think, is what, about $1,000, right? I think that's what they're at.
Yeah, no, they are starting at $799 and going up to $1,000, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, this is not like Apple where you have to remortgage your house.
Pretty close. I mean, Samsung now has the most expensive phone, and that's the Fold. Although I did see that Huawei is coming out with their own version of the Fold, and it's going to pop in right around 2,500 smackers.
Oh, yeah.
That is way expensive and probably won't be available here in the U.S. as Huawei is now sanctioned here in the U.S. I can't. There is no selling of Huawei equipment here in the U.S. right now, so we may have to wait on that one for a while.
We actually had a comment come in that I know Alex would like. What's y'all's opinion on War Thunder? Alex, I believe I've heard you mention that before. Tell us about War Thunder.
War Thunder is the most realistic World War II, Cold War era game I've ever played. It is extremely fun, extremely frustrating, but a very, very, very well-built game if you can take the time to learn how to play it, because it's very complicated. It takes minutes for you to put your track back on if someone blows it off.
Tank?
You can kill a tank in one shot, and with that same exact tank, with the same exact gun, it can take you 15 or 20. It just depends on if you hit their crew or not. So it's an extremely well put together game, and it's hard to find historical inaccuracies in it.
Yeah. No, and I let's see. Oscar says he loves the Centurion Mark III, but War Thunder is not something I played, so I actually don't have any opinions on this particular game. But it looks like it could be a lot of fun. Kind of looks like
World of Tanks, but so much more realistic.
Yeah, I see. It looks like World of Tanks, World of Warships, and World of Aircraft. If they had that all put together,
They do.
Oh, fair enough.
Kind of. It's kind of like that, basically. But a very, very good game. And to anybody who likes a game like World of Tanks, this would be your next favorite game.
Yeah.
Brandon, Alex, is this the same manufacturer or the same studio as World of Tanks, World of Warships?
No, it's their real only competitor besides Armored Warfare, which has had a terrible launch so far on the Xbox. War Thunder, probably their only real competitor, though.
Okay. Fair enough.
But highly recommend it, especially to somebody who likes World War II era tanks, which I absolutely adore them. So it's one for me to just look at the tanks and see how things are made and stuff.
Yeah.
Recommend it, though. Definitely.
Fair enough. And some other things that people are, it says, what are you going to be for Halloween? Which reminds me, for all of those, since this is community time now, we're officially in the community time. So Dad and Alex, if you guys had to bow out, you are more than welcome to. I can just sit here and chat with these guys for all day, all night, whatever. What are you going to be for Halloween? So for Halloween, I have no idea. But don't forget, Oscar, Deshaun, and Pink Piggies, make a Halloween build. We have the Halloween build next Wednesday. Guess what? We're launching the Halloween build. So make sure to build some for Halloween so we can show it on the show. But yeah, that's going to be a thing on next Wednesday. So keep an eye out. And I might move it to next Monday. So keep an eye on Discord for everybody who hasn't. But anyway, anybody else have anything else? Or is that pretty much wrapping everything up? It looks like chats are kind of calming down.
Something I'd like to ask the folks too. Tell us what you think of the show. This is still kind of a beta show. We're using some new software today. It looks to me like it went a little bit better, but give us your feedback. We'd love to hear first what you'd like us to review. There's a couple of recommendations in there for us. So we'll take a look at those. But what do you want to see us review? What's interesting to you? What do you like? What do you dislike? Give us your feedback.
Yeah, and we actually had one. I'll wait for it to come up on. And it's actually StreamYard is the software we're using. It's actually got a lot of cool customized. Let's just kind of goof around with it here, show you guys what we can do with it. And Oscar says, "I love the show. What do you love about it? What do you hate about it? What do you love? Let us know." But and just some cool things that we can do that we've never been able to do before. So these just make life a lot more interesting. Oh, Al, Shadowgun Legends review. Do you know Shadowgun, Al?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Fair enough. We might have to look into that. Remember that. Keep that one in your brain. Of course, Dad, you are the main video person. And you can still have a little bit of the screen there. But yeah, so just some cool software, some cool stuff, and we take all of your guys' comments and stuff like that. I do discuss them. I remember them, as you guys know, for the Minecraft videos. I always try to do what you guys want me to do and do some fun stuff. So, but other than that, that's all the time. I mean, we're about right on the money here at 9 o'clock. Everybody have any last words? Dad, you want to say something last or final, a goodbye quip of sorts?
No, just everybody stay safe, have a good week, and we'll talk about some new tech next week.
Al, how about you?
If anyone wants a nice objective view of movies, go look at Mahler. He does really good and very, very long reviews of movies. Very long. 5.5 hours for one of them. So very long.
Absolutely. With that being said, I have to say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let us know what you think. We are looking for feedback specifically from you guys, the community, the people who are watching this. If you're not a part of the community, let us know. Also, don't forget, we have streams on Wednesday. We already mentioned all that stuff. And you can become a channel member. This is that portion where those members get a quick shout out. So with that being said, let me create this. We have our first one. Actually is going to be Dark Ash. This person actually has a YouTube channel. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it up. I should have prepared that a little bit. So go ahead and subscribe to them. They're actually one of our 99-cent members. They donate 99 cents a month and also have donated more during Minecraft streams because that's where we actually found Dark Ash at. Been a very good community member so far and been with us for over a year. Then we have next on that list, Nitron Games, who is our longest subscriber. Literally been there for almost 3 years, I believe now. So Nitron Games, thank you so much for everything that you've done. You've been there. Also, our 99-cent member also has a YouTube channel. So go ahead, subscribe to them, show them some love, and make sure. And then we also have the last and final one is actually Pokestone. And Pokestone's been a part of this community for a very long time and is one of our 99-cent members as well. Actually, to be honest, Steve Gamer, which is Nitron, used his secondary account to give Pokestone the shout out. So subscribe to Pokestone, show them some love as they do us. There's you guys' shout outs for the day as well. And you know what? Since you're saying it, Slaughter Gangster, also known as Deshaun Stovall, you are also an OG. You've been here a very long time. Thank you guys for all of your support. It is time to end. Goodbye, everybody.